So a few days ago, this really horrible Wonder Woman 1984 cover dropped on social media. DC Nation tweeted out, "Only one word for the Wonder Woman 1984 #1 Rooster Teeth variant cover by Robin Eisenberg. Rad! Out September 29th. I don't know anything about this book. I would assume it's some kind of tie-in to Wonder Woman 1984, which, in all honesty, looks like a good movie. I'm actually looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great movie. The first one was pretty good. I'm looking forward to it. I hope it's good. However, this makes little to no sense to me. It looks nothing like Wonder Woman. It's literally a self-insert image of the artist. She's got pictures of herself on Instagram. It looks just like her. Basically, she drew herself and put her in a Wonder Woman tank top and said, "Here you go." It's, as Heel vs. Babyface said in his video, an F you to customers and fans, basically. It's petty. They knew it would stir up controversy. They knew people would think it's stupid and it's terrible. And it would get Twitter all riled up, which is strange because this never works for sales ever. Like it gets you back pats on Twitter. That's about it. That's about it. You didn't get anything else. It's going to end up rotting on shelves. It's not going to make any money, which is weird to me since Warner Brothers is losing money. AT&T to lay off another 600 people. We're about to go over that in a minute. Losing money left and right. Trying to find ways to tighten the belt. However, stuff like this still comes out from DC Comics. Now, in some ways, DC Comics has been doing stuff pretty good. They've been rolling back their lines. Periodicals are kind of getting cut down significantly. You had like that Harley Quinn book get canceled, which was actually making money. Supergirl, Batgirl, a lot of books are getting canceled right now for not either selling enough or whatever reason. I hear periodicals are getting cut down significantly, and that DC is going to focus on Scholastic and bookstores. And periodicals are somewhat on their way out. This is what I've heard from a few people. There has been no official announcement, but DC's cutting stuff back. However, they still put stuff like this out. This isn't going to sell. It's not going to do very well. But yet, they're just going to keep doing it. There's some better versions of it that artists have put out. Particularly this one I thought was really good. Of course, I'm sure people would have a problem with the chest size over on Twitter. But for the most part, this is actually a pretty good representation of Wonder Woman, to be honest. I like this one too. But what does DC Comics go with? They go with this. You know, I really wonder how long can DC Comics pull petty stuff like this? You know, especially as the Eye of Sauron kind of starts to maybe move across the entire landscape of Warner Brothers media and maybe cut some of this stuff out. You know, it's really funny. They should probably not do this. But see, here's the problem. The people in the comic book industry, they have no idea what the real world is like. The comic book industry hasn't needed to make money in a long time. When Warner was running it without AT&T, they didn't really care. As long as the movies are doing well, it's all good. Same old thing over at Disney with Marvel. They didn't really care then either. But Disney is also hurting. That's a whole nother video. But as you can see here, AT&T to lay off 600 at HBO and Warner Brothers as revenue decline. So they're tightening their belt up. They've been doing it for a while. This is just the next round of BS that come out of AT&T and WarnerMedia, who, by the way, owe about $200 billion in debt. That is crazy. They've got this hedge fund people up their backside all the time because they own a significant amount of that debt. And that's a bit of a problem. So the hedge fund stuff, that if you want a quick TLDR on that, I would say basically they try to drive the stock up and then they jump ship. It's what they do. You'll have to, if you want a more detailed version on what those people do, you have to look it up. But they are very loud and very aggressive on getting the company that they own debt in to change their ways so they can make a quick buck later. Now, AT&T, though, I mean, with everything going on right now, every media company is hurting real bad. Real bad. Let's take a look at this. We'll just go over Warner Brothers media revenue. WarnerMedia revenue fell across the board. In its Q2 2020 earnings report, AT&T said the HBO revenue was $1.6 billion, down 5.2% year over year, reflecting a decrease in subscription revenues and content and other revenues. HBO operating expenses were $1.5 billion, up 32.5% year over year, primarily due to higher programming costs and expenses related to HBO Max. HBO operating income was $113 million, down 80.3%. Warner Brothers revenue in Q2 was $3.3 billion, down 3.9% year over year, partially because of the postponement of theatrical releases due to closure of movie theaters. AT&T said Warner Brothers operating income rose 43.9% to $633 million. However, as the unit's operating expenses declined 11.1% to $2.6 billion, primarily due to the production hiatus and lower marketing expenses. And then it goes on to talk about Turner and a couple of other things. But that's a pretty big change. We got here AT&T already cut over 41,000 jobs since 2017. So, normally you could play the long game a little bit better, but AT&T is really becoming aggressive with revenue cuts and, changing things up. So I really wonder, how long until somebody at AT&T notices this kind of stuff, and then they see stuff like this, Manga in the COVID era, binge reading box sets, volume 1s and more, talking about how great manga sales are doing. They're doing just fine over in that market, doing just fine. Where do you see the manga market right now? How's Viz been doing during the, everything going on right now period? Kevin Hamrick says Viz has been doing extraordinarily well during the everything going on right now. Our sales are beyond expectations. We started off the year strong, and then the pandemic hit, and we took a look at our business. We even had talks about should we revise our revenue budget and our goals, and should we revise our publication schedule. We did neither. We released everything on schedule. We have not touched our revenue budget, and we're beating that and then some. It seems that our manga readers are very resilient. They're going to get their manga one way or another, and even though the brick and mortar stores are closed for a while, we did see a huge shift to online sales, whether it was Amazon, BN.com, BAM.com, or even The Right Stuff. We also noticed that there seemed to be this binge effect. People were binging on manga, and they were binging on Netflix because our box set sales exploded. Isn't that interesting? So instead of giving customers the finger, they've just kept giving them good products, and they did quite well. I think that's pretty interesting, and it should say a lot. How long until AT&T sees something like this, and then they see this, and they say, what's going on over here that's so well and working for them? I don't know. It could happen. But I can tell you this. AT&T doesn't want to be in the periodical market. They want to make money. From what I understand, they've been saying for a long time, we don't get comics and we don't care. Now, I don't think they're going to close DC Comics. I'm not saying that. But I think they're going to slash things down pretty tight, and they're going to keep what makes money, and that's it. It's a shame. They could be making a lot of money if they could just copy a business model that works. I see one right here that seems to be doing just fine. But, the people in the comic book industry, they're pretty damn clueless. Personally, I think they need to clean house from top to bottom, but, whatever. One quick thing, there's also appears, speaking of, because I think a lot of people on my channel that watch this stuff probably like physical media. Disney appears to be abandoning physical 4K, at least when it comes to their back catalog. I saw this and I thought this was pretty interesting. I thought I'd at least touch on it. Nice article here by the Digital Bits talking about that it's apparent that Disney currently has no plans for more live action catalog on physical 4K, which is concerning considering that they own Fox's catalog now. So, do you want those old X-Men movies in 4K? You might not get them. You might not be getting them. Newer movies and stuff like that, Disney, Pixar, Star Wars, Marvel-related projects, those might be okay. But if you want like an older movie upgraded, you might not get it. Kind of another sad sign that physical media is on its way out, which sucks. I really like collecting movies that I really love and having them in the newest format, but kind of a scary thought. Anyway, that's it, guys. Let me know what you think about all this. I'd like to hear your thoughts on the matter. Also, if you would, please consider liking and sharing the video. Make sure you still subscribe. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out.